आपको उधर से आना। That's really great. Thank you so much.
हेलो मैम।
हेलो हेलो
मैम आप
एक ही बात है।
अरे मैम सोनिया मैम आती हूँ। That's really great. Thank you so much.
हेलो मैम।
हेलो हेलो
मैम आप
एक ही बात है।
अरे मैम सोनिया मैम आती हूँ। सर उधर से ही चलते हैं।
जय शिवान।
नहीं पहली बार ही आई शिवानी सर के बोलने के बाद
स्पेस पे रखना
आंटी मंदिर से
ज़्यादा लंबा अच्छा
नहीं
Thank you, dear guests. Before we proceed, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the esteemed presence of Honorable Mr. Justice Siddharth Mridul Sir and Professor Mohammad Tawhidul Islam Sir, who have graciously joined us online. Sir, we are truly honored to have you amongst us. I now invite Shri V.K. Bhalwad Sir, Chairman FIMT Group of Institutions, to felicitate Professor Dr. Shivani Goswami Ma'am as a token of our deep respect and admiration. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Moving forward, now I would like to introduce Shri V.K. Bhalwad Sir, Chairman FIMT Group of Institutions. Sir,
कमेटी की ओर से आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। मैं ऑनरेबल जस्टिस श्री सिद्धार्थ मृदुल जी, चीफ गेस्ट, जो हमारे मार्गदर्शक पिछले 12-13 सालों से रहे हैं और कई बार आ चुके हैं। मूट कोर्ट बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया की जो इंटर यूनिवर्सिटी कंपटीशन थी ऑल इंडिया बेसिस पे, जस्टिस सर ने बहुत अच्छा स्पीच दिया था और सभी बच्चों ने लाइक किया था। और मैं, आप नाम से ही जानते हो, सिद्धार्थ मृदुल, आप जानते हो सिद्धार्थ किनका नाम था? जानते हो? गौतम बुद्ध। और देखिए, आज सर गौतम बुद्ध नगरी में ही गया के कार्यक्रम में व्यस्त है, इसलिए नहीं आ पाए, और मैं उनका हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत करता हूं। डॉक्टर अफजल वानी, आप सभी जानते हैं हमारे मार्गदर्शक एडवाइजर और हमारे लो कॉलेज के फाउंडर मेंबर हैं, मैं उनका भी हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। डॉक्टर शिवानी गोस्वामी USLS और की नोट गेस्ट हैं आज के कार्यक्रम में, और अब नेक्स्ट डीन बनने वाली है और हम सभी प्रे करते हैं कि जल्दी से वो हो रहा है। मैं इनका भी हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। डॉक्टर मोहम्मद तौहीदुल इस्लाम यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ढाका गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर हैं, मैं इनका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। और जितने पेपर प्रेजेंटर ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन, और मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि हमारे बच्चों ने भी, स्टूडेंट्स ने भी पेपर प्रेजेंट करे, ये एक बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत है। आप जितने इन सब कॉन्फ्रेंस सेमिनार में मूड कोर्ट में पार्टिसिपेट्स करोगे, आपको एक एक्सपोजर मिलेगा। और मैं सभी से बार बार रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, ये सारी चीज़ें आपके लिए। मैं आप सभी लोगों का फैकल्टी स्टूडेंट 2 डेज इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस विथ नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस कॉन्फ्रेंस में स्वागत करता हूँ। मैं इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि आप भी सुन रहे होंगे AI की वजह से कितनी परेशानी आती है और कितना अच्छा काम भी होता है। न्यूज़पेपर न्यूज़ में आप देख रहे होंगे, ऑनलाइन न्यूज़ जो आप देखते हैं उसमें भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें AI के खिलाफ भी है और AI के अच्छाई भी है। आपने देखा होगा हमारे देश ने बहुत बड़ा एक महाकुंभ संपन्न किया है और उसमें AI की सबसे अच्छी भूमिका रही है। इसीलिए कॉन्फ्रेंस का मकसद ये है कि इसकी अच्छाई और बुराई इन सब चीज़ों को आप देखें, और AI आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का क्या रिलेशन है नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस का, ये भी आपको टेक्निकल सेशन में अच्छा समझने का मौका मिलेगा। क्योंकि टेक्निकल सेशन चल रहा है आपका, इसलिए मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूँगा। मैं NCC और जितने भी इसमें लोग पर्दे के पीछे लगे हैं जो व्यवस्थित करने में इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को कामयाब और हासिल करने में जिन्होंने मदद करी है और जो मेहनत कर रहे हैं, मैं सभी का आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। एक बार फिर से आप सभी का फेयरफील्ड इंस्टीट्यूट के प्रांगण में हार्दिक स्वागत है और जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Everyone,
Good afternoon, sir.
dear Sri VKN Bhadra's Chairman FIMT Group of Institutions, Dr. Shivani Singh, Organizing Secretary, and IQAC Coordinator, International Conference, Fairfield School of Law, Professor Dr. Shivani Goswami, Professor, University School of Law and Legal Studies, GG, SIPU, Professor Dr. M. Abdul Wani, Advisor, FIMT, and former Dean, University School of Law and Legal Studies, GG, SIPU, Honorable Mr. Justice Siddharth Mirdu, former Chief Justice, Manipur High Court, Professor Dr. Savita Kasneza, Director, FIMT School of Law, dear colleagues and participants. And at the very outset, I'd like to offer my sincere thanks and gratitude to the organizer for inviting me to this occasion. It is with great humility and excitement that I stand before you today at the 2-day multidisciplinary international conference on integration of artificial intelligence with natural intelligence for creating a better world, organized by FIMT School of Law and IQAC. As you know, currently we embark on a profound exploration of the transformative partnership between artificial intelligence and natural intelligence, NI, also known as human intelligence. A collaboration that holds the promise of creating a better, more equitable and sustainable world. Throughout history, human intelligence has been the cornerstone of innovation, creativity, and progress. From the discovery of fire to the invention of the wheel, from the Renaissance to the digital revolution, our natural intelligence, the unparalleled cognitive and emotional capacity of human mind has propelled humanity forward. Yet, as we stand on the brink of a new era, we are witnessing the rise of a powerful ally, that is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, powered by vast data sets, unprecedented computational power, and sophisticated algorithms, is reshaping the fabric of our society. It is transforming industries, enhancing healthcare, redefining education, and enabling smarter decision making. From diagnosing diseases with remarkable accuracy to predicting climate change impacts and optimizing food production, AI is proving to be a transformative force for good. However, AI is not a vanilla. The essence of human intelligence, our ability to think critically, empathize, innovate, and make ethical decisions, remains irreplaceable. While AI excels at processing and analyzing data at the scale, it lacks the emotional depth, moral reasoning, and creative intuition that define us as humans. This is why the future must be built on a harmonious synergy between AI and NI, that is natural intelligence, where each complements the other's strengths. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is a technology designed to copycat human cognitive functions, enabling machines to solve problems, make decisions, and generate ideas. AI systems learn by processing vast amounts of data, identifying patterns, and adapting their responses based on this training. For instance, AI-empowered chatbots can engage in natural conversations, while image recognition tools can accurately identify objects in photos by learning from examples. The most common of artificial intelligence include machine learning, ML. ML algorithms analyze data, identify patterns, and improve their performance over time. For example, recommendation systems on streaming platforms use ML to suggest content based on user preferences. Then deep learning, a subset of ML, deep learning uses artificial neural networks to tackle complex tasks such as diagnosing diseases from medical images or detecting anomalies in satellite imagery. Then natural language processing, NLP. NLP enables machines to understand, interpret, and generate human languages. Tools like ChatGPT and virtual assistants like Siri are prime examples of NLP in action. AI is already deeply embedded in our daily lives, from navigation apps like Google Maps to grammar checking software like Grammarly. It is not a distant future. It is here, transforming how we live, work, and interact. The core difference between AI and NI, at its core, the distinction between AI and NI lies in adaptability and creativity. While AI excels at processing data and performing repetitive tasks with accuracy, it operates within the confines of its training data and algorithms. Human intelligence, on the other hand, thrives in ambiguity. We can adapt to new situations, think creatively, make decisions based on empathy, ethics, and intuition. For example, an AI system can solve complex mathematical problems in seconds, but it cannot write a novel that resonates with the human soul or making a moral judgment in a nuanced ethical dilemma. This is where the irreplaceable value of human intelligence shines. Advantages of artificial intelligence. The benefits of AI are undeniable. It can process vast amounts of data at incredible speeds, automate time-consuming tasks, and reduce errors. In healthcare, AI algorithms can analyze medical images faster than human doctors, leading to earlier diagnosis and better patient outcomes. In agriculture, AI-driven tools optimize crop yields, helping to address food security challenges. AI's potential spans across industries, finance, education, transportation, and beyond. From personalized learning platforms to autonomous vehicles, AI is driving innovation and efficiency. Now the question is, can AI replace human intelligence? While AI's capabilities are impressive, the question of whether it can replace human intelligence is misguided. AI is a tool, not a replacement. It can strengthen human abilities, but it cannot replicate our creativity, emotional intelligence, or ethical reasoning. For instance, AI can analyze legal documents, but only a human lawyer can argue a case before a court with empathy and moral conviction. The future is not about choosing between AI and human intelligence. It is about integrating them to achieve outcomes that neither could accomplish alone. AI and human intelligence, a collaborative future. The future we foresee is one where AI and human intelligence work in tandem. AI will handle data-intensive, repetitive tasks, freeing humans to focus on creative, strategic, and ethical decision-making. This partnership will unlock new possibilities from personalized medicine to sustainable urban planning. In the business world, AI is already proving to be a critical driver of value. Organizations that successfully scale AI see significant returns on investment, with automation reducing cost and improving efficiency. However, the true potential lies in AI's ability to drive growth and innovation. Companies that embrace AI as a strategic tool are better positioned to thrive in an increasingly competitive landscape. AI as a force for good. As we integrate AI into our lives, we must do so with a sense of responsibility and purpose. AI has the potential to address some of humanity's greatest challenges, from combating climate change to reducing inequality. But this requires ethical frameworks, transparent governance, and a commitment to ensure that AIs benefit all of humanity, not just as a privileged few. We must also address the fears and misconceptions surrounding AI. Education is key to demystify AI and empowering individuals to harness its potential. By fostering a deeper understanding of AI, we can move from fear to collaboration, from uncertainty to innovation. Conclusion. A shared vision for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of our world depends on how we harness the power of AI in harmony with the wisdom of human intelligence. We must strive for a future where AI serves as a tool for empowerment, a catalyst for progress, and a means to build a more inclusive, sustainable, and just society. Let us embark on this journey with vision, responsibility, and optimism. The best outcomes will emerge not from AI alone, not from human intelligence alone, but from the
Honorable Mr. Justice Siddharth Midul, Shri V.K.N. Bhardwaj ji, Professor M. Afzal Wani sir, Professor Islam, Professor Vyas, Professor Shweta, Dr. Sonia, learned faculty and dear students. Good afternoon to all of you. We have gathered here at this international conference, and before I start, I would like to congratulate the organizers in organizing such an updated topic, which is the talk of the town. When you talk about, now as far as the topic goes, and the title goes, it is covering two aspects, artificial intelligence and natural intelligence. And both of these, all of us know that they are class apart. There's a lot of difference between the two. When you talk about artificial intelligence, that means it's the one, of course, it is automated by the machines, right? It's a computerized system where the decisions are being based on programs, so on and so forth. But if you see it, artificial intelligence is touching all our areas. You count it and you get it. It's everywhere, omnipresent, right? It could be entertainment, it could be education, it could be business related things, healthcare, education, so many things. Everywhere you name it, it is there. It has boosted our economy. Of course it has boosted our economy. Then if you see the positives, of course it has the positives as well as the negative aspects. When we counter on these positive aspects, the first thing is that whatever you do, but through this, it is totally perfect. A precision, precisely. If we talk about the human beings here, we are bound to commit errors. It's always said, to err is human. We commit errors. But when we come to these automated machines, they dwindle these things and it does with precision. It is one which is enhancing, if you talk about the medical care, like Professor Tohid, he was also talking about this medical thing, it has done wonders. When you talk, it is because of AI that so many diseases, we are able to catch them as early as possible. You know that cancer, nowadays, cancer is so fatal. It's a deadly disease. But through this automated machine, they are the ones within seconds. They catch that image through those MRI scans, so on and so forth, and the doctor can take a good care of these patients and can treat them properly because it's an early detection of the disease. Cancer is curable if it is early detected. So it's courtesy automated this AI thing. We talk about there's a zero risk thing. Zero risk in the sense, you are sending so many, it's not possible for a human being because of the risk factors. We are sending those robots to the space. We are sending them to explore the deepest part of the oceans. So on and so, there's so many things. Their body is made up of metal, and as a result of which, they can survive in unfriendly conditions also. 24/7 applicability. We become tired. 3-4 ghante, and no, we can't do more. We are exhausted, right? But the same scenario is not with the machines. You give the command, and they are there to serve you. They are at your disposal, right? In our daily applications, when I'm from an education thing, so I will talk about the research articles. You also get assignments, you get dissertations, so on and so forth. So many things. Everything, otherwise also Siri is there, Claude is there, ChatGPT is there, DeepSeek is there. Within seconds you get material. Now whether it's a positive aspect or a negative aspect, I'll be coming to it later on, but within seconds you are getting everything. Everything is in your hands, at your disposal. Then earlier, we used to, when we didn't know the way, if we had to go to Bangalore or something, we used to ask from people for the directions. But now we have Google Maps. We don't require anyone. Give the command and you are there without asking anyone. So these are some of the positive aspects of this thing. But as I stated, that it's not only the positive aspects, even negative things also go side by side. Too much dependence on AI, this thing. Of course, it has its negative repercussions. When you talk about it, for example, like I said that everything is at your disposal. You are writing your articles, research articles, so that means we are not applying our brains. Whatever is getting to us, we are just taking it, we are just copying it, so on and so forth. So that's a very negative point, and we are not understanding the repercussions later on it is going to have on us. Then job displacement, where everything is governed by AI. It has started, right? So human population, which in our country like India, we have gargantuan population. And if you are going to displace people because of these automated machines, because they are better to us, right? So it's going to have a very, very negative effect on all of us. Already there is unemployment, so it's going to add on to it. We can very well comprehend what is going to happen in future. Then too much reliance on AI related to these products. It's going to make us, obviously we will not be creative, that's one thing. Then it's going to make us very lazy. We will not be, we are totally because dependent on these products, because we are now in the habit of getting ready-made things. So we don't want to work. We will not be laborious, we will not be assiduous, we will not be diligent in future. So we are not realizing this thing, but we are very happy that we are getting all those ready-made things. The next aspect which is there in your conference is on natural intelligence or human intelligence. Now, in a layman's language, what we say is human intelligence basically is we humans, we have creativity, we have the power of thinking, we have the power of critically analyzing a particular aspect, right? So we have emotions, we have feelings, right? So this thing is not there when you come to AI thing. If these are taken apart one by one, they are incomplete. There are lot many limitations, there are lot many restrictions when you take it one by one, right? In the case of human intelligence, we know that when we are ill, it is a nurse who's a human who comforts us, right? When we are in the classroom, it is the teacher when the student is unable to comprehend the lectures that are being taught in the class. The teacher comes to the level of the students and tries to make them understand. Till the time the student is not able to understand, the teacher stoops to that level. She's the one who's trying to, that the student should understand whatever she's teaching. She'll try to make the class interesting, right? So that's human intelligence. In the case of doctor, I told you that AI is very useful in medical things because we are able to diagnose things very early and we are able to treat them at the right time. But until and unless it's okay, AI has diagnosed the thing, it has come in the machine and he has the MRI scans have been done. But it is the care of the doctor, his compassionate thing that heals the person. He is the one who is going to decide what medicine is to be given, which is the right time, right? Then there could be, there are so many things. It's the person, natural intelligence has its own positive aspects. When I talk about your third aspect in your title, that is the integration. I've already told you that things on their own, they are incomplete. They have their limitations, they have their restrictions. But when we talk about this integration, it is going to do wonders. It has already started done wonders. There are so many places where AI-driven drones, they are carrying the bloods and vaccines to the remote areas, and one which requires more compassion, which requires more care, which requires more thing. So it's the combination of both natural intelligence and AI. Secondly, we all know Khan Academy. It's an AI-driven Khan Academy. Many students get attracted towards it. But it is the mentorship of a teacher. It is the ability of a teacher to retain them, to make them, whatever difficulties they are finding, to pursue that particular thing. Again, the combination of both AI and natural intelligence. There were so many things, even when you talk about in AI-driven, farming tools. The farmers, they optimize how much fertilizer, how much water is to be needed. And it is the farmer who again is a human intelligence. He decides at what time, what should be the period, how much it has to be given, how it can be controlled effectively. So it's a combination of both natural intelligence and artificial intelligence that is being, bringing wonders to party. I'm just giving you a few examples. There are many things, where there is a combination and it is bringing wonders and doing a magnanimous job. Being a family law teacher, like she had already stated in this resume, I would like to touch upon women empowerment because that's a thing which is very close to my heart, teaching this subject. You know, why I'm talking about women empowerment and AI this thing is, women contributes nearly half of the human population. And you know, since women empowerment is when you're empowering a woman through all the spheres, whether it is political, whether it is legal, whether it is social, whether it is fiscal, economical, when empowerment is there in all the aspects, that basically is women empowerment. Why I am talking on this particular state issue, I'll call it a state issue, because since ages, women have been tormented, they have been pestered. I mean, whatever in the history we have read that barring the Vedic period, in all the other periods, women were actually subjected, they were tormented like anything. Even after the post-independent era. We just brag and conceit of equality. If we talk about Hindu law, we say that we brag and conceit of egalitarianism. But even if you see the Hindu laws, there is a lot of disparity, gender disparity, when you look at particular acts. Be it your Hindu Succession Act, 1956, be it your Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, 1956, so on and so forth. So, women empowerment, I'll not say, I'm just presenting a very gloomy picture in front of you. The picture is not that gloomy. Our government has taken so many initiatives. There are, you know, Digital India Mission, where many platforms, digitally, you know, we have become very active and we are sitting in the remote areas, women in the remote areas, or through online platforms, AI-driven online platforms, they are accessing it. The problem of connectivity of internet, that's a separate scenario. But at least without coming physically to the classes, if they are unable to do it because of their circumstances, they can online attend those programs. Similarly, you're on the Skill India Mission, your innovative, there are many things which have been introduced by the government, right? Then we have so many apps. I'm talking about the vulnerability of the women, and violence is one thing which I cannot lose a sight of. So many things are there, but we have apps to deal with them. Every day हम लोग हमेशा यही बोलते रहते हैं जब भी women के ऊपर कुछ भी बोलते हैं कि you know what, women and violence, they are two sides of the same coin. They are inseparable. They are in each other's pocket, so on and so forth. But it's not that so. We have so many apps now to protect. My Safety Pin app, it uses AI this thing in order to tell women the properly littered routes through which they can go so that violence is not committed. Delhi, we know as such is a violent city. So many every day, every now and then, we keep on hearing this violence is being committed. So that's an app which tells us, being driven by AI this thing. Then even your software, the Soft India initiative. Again, you analyze that data through AI only about the violence that is being committed, and the people come forward to see what policies are being drawn. What I'm going to say here is, but again, everything has its positive and negative aspects. But when we talk about AI and this natural intelligence, they have to be taken together. It's not a contest, it's not a competition, it's not a struggle, it's not a fight between this, two things, artificial intelligence and natural intelligence. We have to take them together. It has to be in consonance with each other. We have to bring a better world. Your title says so. So it's only through the collaboration that this can be achieved. We don't have to just, build those smarter machines. We have to come out with a thing, an idea where we not only bring smarter machines, we bring kinder, nicer, generous, magnanimous world to us. And in this, everyone, whether it's an AI or natural intelligence, all of us are pioneers, we are supreme, we are sovereign. Thank you so much. Topic is very good. I would like to congratulate the organizers for choosing.
Professor Dr. Shivani Goswami. In absentia, Justice Siddharth Mridul, former Chief Justice of Manipur High Court. And my dear friend Tawheedul Islam from Dhaka University, Professor Saroj, Professor Shavita, and my dear colleagues at FIMT, and very, very dear students. I wish you all a very good afternoon. the conference had a purpose, and I thought that we should initiate something in a situation where all are thinking of using something, its immediate consequences, and what can happen by this, having apprehensions. So we thought it differently, that can we comprehend, understand the situation and then use it for having a better world than we have today. So the students of FIMT, bearing a very, very good super intelligence with them, I want to give them the confidence that you can think in crisis. You can think in a situation of turbulence. You can think in a situation which is covered with the winds against you, and then turn stronger, more wise, more selective and elective, and then say, we can use this situation for bringing a better situation into existence. That's the theme of it. And I wish that this should be the motto of every alumnus of this, this college, that when I shall complete my courses, I shall be the best of the managers in normal circumstances, and I shall be the best whenever there is any kind of opposite winds blowing against us or against anybody. That should be the quality of the best of the lawyers, best of the lawmen. So, dear students, think for a moment that we talked of natural intelligence and we talked of artificial intelligence. As an elder person, I know of another intelligence also, and that is supernatural intelligence. So, if we take these three intelligence into mind, the supernatural intelligence, the natural intelligence, and the artificial intelligence, the stories are full with it. That when somebody was picking up a part of the Himalaya and taking it along with the medicine which was growing on that to another part of the country, what was the intelligence and what was the power and what was the technology at that time? And then that was a careful use of it. But we have the story of another Sant or Sufi also, that he had also developed the super intelligence, supernatural intelligence, that just by saying a mantra, the things would happen. And then if he would somewhere find a twig of wood, and he would read the mantra, that would grow into the plant. And if he would find somewhere this kind of thing and say you become the gold, it would become gold. But one day, you listen it carefully, but one day he was walking on the way and he found a heap of bones. And he read the same mantra and used the supernatural intelligence. Once he read the mantra, a lion, a tiger came up out of that, and the tiger ate him up. The question is that whenever you have any kind of intelligence, you have to use it for the betterment. You have not to use it to show it or get to your own self only and have the best for you. Turn greedy, turn selfish, or projecting your interests only. No, you have to be very balanced. Even at the stage of being supernaturally intelligent, the human being, if it is. And that is the story of all the avatars, that is the story of all the prophets, and that's the story of all godmen. If they have that, they would use their supernatural intelligence for the benefit of humanity. And then when we come to the natural intelligence, we all possess that natural intelligence normally, and we have to use that. As I always say, there is a problem with humanity. They either not use the mind, there is non-use of mind, and there is many times the abuse of the mind, and there is sometimes the excessive use of the mind, and then these all things, non-use and abuse, are too much. But where is the use of the mind? Where is the use of the intelligence? That has to be focused too much. And that's in the wisdom, as you find the wisdom in the books, and now a click away from your mobile, you find a lot of knowledge there. And you must access to that and understand that and see where from this wisdom has come and what means what. And that's how it has to be used for the human being himself first. And then he has to understand the things around. All knowledge, as we say, necessity is the mother of invention. The knowledge, one goes for having more knowledge because of the need, because of the necessity. And that's why we have the institutions to learn more, understand more, know more things, and then be better. And that's how science and technology have come up, so that we know the things better, and then accordingly we will get forward and have a better world. The person who talked of this artificial intelligence, or if I take a leave from that for a moment and talk of the person who gave us nanotechnology, then long back in 1957 or so, he thought of it that can we possess lot many things in a smaller space. And that's how today you find so much of the knowledge, so many of the libraries you are having now just in the chip in your mobile, or it is even in a smaller place. So he thought of it. How it became possible was that once you know the world better, what it is, of what it is constituted, or if I take the example of an atom, when you understand the electrons, the neutrons, the protons, and the newsons and others, then how they can be placed to create another atom, another element artificially. When you have control on it, then you say, I can make it, and I shall do it. This will be for my benefit. I want to reach to a place within a minimum period of time. John Austin said, law is the command of the sovereign. So he wanted to give respect to the crown of England. Remember it. This is the only purpose what John Austin had in mind. People read other books and say he was serving in army and pulled on this Roman law. No, it's not. He was a man who was understanding the situation. He was true to his sovereignty of the nation, and therefore he said, he made clear to all the colonies of the world, people in the world, that law is there and law is the command of the crown. Law is the command of the sovereign. And if you violate it, the crown has a right to punish you. That's the philosophy, that's the thinking. And then at the same time, the technologists in England, the technologists in Europe, he thought that how can I make it mechanically possible? They did research and they developed the technology whereby they can have a place, a presence in any part of the world today, and even in the atmosphere. That's how they have gone from the cave to the cosmos with might, with knowledge, with understanding, and with the best use for themselves. You Indian students of FIMT, you have to take the lead. You have to understand, you have not to be fearful of the artificial intelligence. You have to say, this is an opportunity. Negative things are always there in anything. But we shall make ourselves, and then we shall deal with the situation. And then the government of India should help and support the students of FIMT and give them projects that how best can be the artificial intelligence used for the development of the country, development of its economic system, development of the markets in it, development of the use of technology, development of governance, and also the development of the justice system in this country. I believe that you have the leadership available at FIMT and you can get to these kinds of things and go to it. So I would say 2-3 things which you will do to manage the situation well. Always, I am here in front of you, but this time in my mind I am at Mount Everest. And also my reflection is at the top of Qutub Minar, so that I feel that I am somewhere a citizen of a great country, great nation, and a representative of a great culture, and the representative of great country having together supernatural intelligence, natural intelligence, and the artificial intelligence, and the capacity to use it together without divorcing one of them, without allowing misuse of any of them. I want to have command over it, and then I want to make all the borders of my nation very safe through artificial intelligence. I want that anybody who is not getting education in my country, he was born in a juggi, he should not remain and die illiterate. I want to use artificial intelligence. I want to know the mechanism how the best of the crops can be grown through artificial intelligence so that nobody dies hungry in my great nation. This is very important. And anybody who suffers, maybe a wife, a daughter, or a mother, because justice is not accessible to her, I shall use the artificial intelligence to the extent that I can have access, that they can have access to our justice system. I want to make my judge literate, artificial intelligence illiterate, so that he is restless and he says, I have the capacity, I have the potential to get justice at the doorsteps wherever they are through artificial intelligence. I shall see that the FIMT students become the first ranked lawyers of the country, and they say that we are not bothered about the fee that will come, money will flow, but we are bothered about it, that how can we become the public spirited lawyers with the best of the hold on artificial intelligence and get the things done the best in the country. So, dear friends, artificial intelligence is having negatives as any other thing is having. The knife in the hand of the child is a negative and a positive. So we have anybody near the fire, it can have a positive and a negative. But at the same time, where is your will? Where is your intelligence? Where is your intent? Where is your thought? You get away from the vices. You become positive. You turn to become contributory. And you improve the positive things. You will see that you will have the excellence, whereby the purposes of this conference will be best served. And the best serve is, I shall face the situation, not only to neutralize the situation, but to get the best out of it. And here is, we will have the best of the teachers for the country, and we will have the best of the students for the country. We'll have the best of the performers from the country. And while traveling today in the traffic jam, I was thinking that can someday happen that we will have a robotic parliament for India, where all will be the robots, and whether they will think better for the betterment of the people of India, and who will regulate them, who will feed them the knowledge and the instruction, who will, train those robots. And I think they should be the students of FIMT. Nobody else can do it. And that's together you will be there. All the schools, education, IT, economics, literature, journalism, law, get together. And management, get together and develop a program for artificial intelligence in action. And action will mean positive action. And then you have the social outreach programs, you have Unnat Bharat programs. Please go. You have NSS, and you have NCC also, and you have IIC also. You have so many initiatives here. I think you all get together. You will clear the ordinary subjects and courses within 15 days. But give the rest of the time in the semester being together in different groups. You say we will be artificial intelligence, literate and best proficiency we'll have in it, and we will tell to the world and create a literacy that how it can be best used for creating a better world. And then we talked about the women, and I believe that it's not 50%, it is 100% the contribution of women that the world is existing there. It's only because of them. I may be higher and higher and highest, but I can in no way be higher than my mother. It's not possible at all. And I wish my daughter is also at the highest, and why not my counterpart in life should be at the highest. It's all their contribution. And you will see, if you will study the history in a good way, then you will find that whenever the ladies showed the courage that we shall not succumb, I shall do it, then definitely you will find that the world will change, the role remains with them. And that's how artificial intelligence has been discussed in earlier session also. And there is a question of vulnerability of the daughters. I would tell to the daughters, please, nobody should stop you from getting the best in artificial intelligence. Be very much confident and seek care. Don't come under any kind of persuasion and grooming. You say, I want to naturally groom in my own way. And that's why the first point which I have to advise you is have self-imaging. You are born with certain apprehensions, threats, and then turbos. You are weak, you are this, you are that. No. Have self-imaging. I am the first, and I am the first to remain as first, and I shall fight anything to be the first ever in future also. I am the first. So you have to have your own self-imaging that will overcome all your weaknesses, and that will overcome all your kinds of winds against you, oppositions against you, and that will clear a road, a better road it will create for you, and it will become very easy. A bold person and an honest person at the same time has always an easy access to the things. That's better, and he's clear. And maybe he may be destroyed, but he can never be defeated. I wish that all the daughters of this country, they come up as bold, understanding, and they are having good self-image with them. What I have to project, not what I have to get. No. I want to make that self-grooming the best, and that's how artificial intelligence may be used by anyone against you to persuade you to do anything. I think you can stop it and have that self-imaging. Second, I would say, I said it, but I'll reformulate it, that convert a situation, a crisis, into an opportunity. Learn it. If there is any job to be learned from education is, how can I turn a bad situation into a good situation in my favor? When somebody asked me long back in my childhood, what is politics? I said, politics makes to make the environment in my favor. That's the politics. So the politics of artificial intelligence has to be there, but you will be more confident that you will turn everything in your favor, whether it is economic, whether it is cultural, whether it is any other kind of thing. You have to use it that way. And then thirdly, that be real every time. Don't deceive yourself. Be real. And if you are real, you will understand your all weaknesses, your positives, and then you will nourish them in a good way. And then please, you are not suggesting one thing to the director law, to the director education, to the director management, that we want to have self-managed add-on courses. Artificial intelligence will give you many opportunities to have add-on courses and you speak in them. Forget about the requirements of UGC and other things. No, you yourselves have 20-hour, 30-hour, 15-hour add-on courses, and then there you focus on these new things and make your institution the best, make your institution a leading institution, because this institution name will always go with you. And then tomorrow, if I happen to be at a good and better place, and then I shall say, I have been with the FIMT, Institute of Management and Technology and School of Law. It gives a pride. And today, I always say that GJSIP University School of Law is the best in the country. And it is beyond the National Law Universities. And why? And that gives me honor and pride. Please understand it. When tomorrow you will be the judges, you will be the lawyers, then wherever you will go, you must say, I am from FIMT. And there are these things. There is this kind of, there is a debate on this issue. There is every day a debate on that issue. And there is an experiential learning of that kind. And they are the best in artificial intelligence. Today, Oxford University takes pride that it was long back in 1979 that we gave the first thesis on artificial intelligence to the world in 1979 when I had joined the study of law. Now you can see, today we talk of the artificial intelligence. So people are proud of Oxford, say this is my Oxford, this is my Cambridge, and I shall go with due concern, study well, and go ahead. I shall divert my all pocket money from pizza to study of artificial intelligence, from burger to study of artificial intelligence, to my little enjoyment to have the social outreach programs. That's how we can do it. And whenever I used to receive some money on Eid from the father, I would then consult the mother what I have to do with it. She would say, you purchase a better bag for school, a fresh one, so that you are happy and you will be going to the school with a very shiny and charming bag carrying the books, a good arithmetic box, and then some kinds of, a new shirt. That's how you can go with it. That's how we have to learn about it, how to create fronts by ourselves. And that's the basic kind of thing we have to learn. And we shall defeat every negative of the artificial intelligence, and we shall better use every positive of the artificial intelligence, and the world will be a new one, a new one, a new one. Now heroes will not come, prophets will not come, avatars will not come, but institutions will be there. And let FIMT's this conference be a turning point in the Indian history, that here today, the students of this college had taken a vow that we shall definitely become the watershed and we shall change the things, and then we will have a better spell of use of artificial intelligence in this country to make the world better. And this concern should voice even from the Parliament, even from the Supreme Court. And with this, I would like to thank ultimately our chairman, Bhardwaj Sahab. And I keep thinking, because I don't give much place to the worry. I would have been in a lot of worry if I would not have been associated with Bhardwaj Sahab. It is his, it's all 100% his contribution that I keep thinking, I keep talking, and I keep mentoring. I always say, I don't teach, I only try to inspire, and I believe that you will definitely take a leaf today from any of the words I spoke, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful remarks and for inspiring us to reach greater heights.
Good afternoon. Honorable Justice Siddharth Mridul in absentia,
Shri V.K. Bhardwaj, Chairman FIMT, Professor M. Afzal Wani, Dr. Nalini Joshi in absentia, Executive Director of FIMT, Dr. Shivani Goswami, would-be Dean, US LSS, and Professor Saroj Vyas, Director FIMT, dear faculty, students and participants across India. As we conclude the inaugural ceremony of the first international conference on artificial intelligence and natural intelligence for creating a better world, it is my profound privilege. Before I propose the vote of thanks, dear students, I would like to mention this fact. This idea of organizing the international conference was conceived 4 months ago, and it took us to execute the first international conference, because it is not international in reality, because we have received the participation across, not only from India, from world actually. And this idea, the title of this conference, Integration of Artificial Intelligence and Natural Intelligence for Creating a Better World, this title was conceived none other than, it was conceived by Professor M. Afzal Wani. I think sir received a huge round of applause. And first and the foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude on the behalf of FIMT to the chief guest of the day, Justice Siddharth Mridul, because sir, virtual presence truly honored us and reinforced the significance of the event in advancing the collaboration between artificial and the natural intelligence. And the special address and the special thanks goes to our keynote speaker, Professor Shivani Goswami, for the powerful address. So ma'am not only guided us, not only motivated us, but also enriched us with regard to the understanding of how the integration of artificial intelligence can promote gender equality in the society. And we once again thank you, ma'am, for gracing the occasion and motivating the student. And we are immensely grateful to Professor M. Afzal Wani. Sir's guidance, sir motivation, sir contribution have been instrumental in making this conference an intellectual feast. And the sincere appreciation goes to the management, to Shri V.K. Bhardwaj and Dr. Nalini Joshi, whose generous support has been vital in making this event a grand success. And sir and ma'am, your belief in our vision has enabled us to bring this conference to life. Thank you very much once again. And a heartfelt thanks to our organizing committee, to Dr. Shivani, Sweetie, Pragya, Tanusha, our student conveners, Insha, Sagar Pandey, Shivam, Ayush Avasti, and all the volunteers, because their support has been vital in making this event a grand success, and your belief in and I am sure because this team has worked tirelessly behind this success, behind this scene, to ensure that smooth, although this, I really apologize because due to this technical glitch, it was not smooth as it was, designed by me, but your dedication, the dedication of the faculty, the dedication of the student volunteers, their commitment are truly commendable, and I think they deserve a huge round of applause. And most importantly, I extend the sincere gratitude to all the attendees, to all the researchers and the delegates for joining us today, because your presence and enthusiasm reflect the significance of this event, and I hope that this conference serve as a platform for meaningful discussion and for the future collaboration. So as we embark on the session ahead, let us carry forward the inspiration from the inaugural ceremony and work collectively toward leveraging intelligence, both artificial and natural, for creating a good for the humanity. So once again, thank you all for your invaluable contribution and support. Wishing you an insightful and the successful conference ahead. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.